Hello, I'm Emily Elias.
And I'm Tom Wiggins, and this is Desert Island Dips, the podcast where we pit condiment against condiment and ask, if you were trapped on a desert island, which 5 dips would you take with you?
Way to go, Tom.
It's a bit stern at the end there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
very angry.
Just want to know, man.
So far on the list, you got ketchup, brown sauce, English mustard, barbecue sauce, sriracha. These are the top 5
Of all time.
of all time.
I think we should go full on and say that, rather than just saying, oh yeah, these are the 5 that we've decided. They are
time.
They are the 5.
And this week, a sauce that you have probably never heard of, but definitely should, Ajika.
I mean, when you say that, oh, you've probably never heard of this. Loads of people out there will be going, I've heard of it. That is literally true this time, isn't it? You probably have never heard of it.
I think I've never heard of it before
I've never heard of it until this incredible story that you're going to tell of how it came into your life. Blew your mind and mine.
Oh, okay. First of
Let's
all,
just get that
the
out of the way,
reach
shall
of
we?
Desert Island Dips is very far and apparently very popular with the Russian receptionists that work at the Novotel Kievskaya in Moscow. Spoiler, I went to the World Cup. That's where I've been.
It's coming home. Emily's come home
Thank
from the World Cup. New version that they'll release probably next week.
I honestly do not understand this whole football is coming home thing. Like, it actually drives me insane.
Well, we haven't got time to get into it.
Okay, so
So you're in Moscow.
I'm in
Covering the
Moscow.
World Cup. You're in a hotel.
I'm living there for 37 days.
Bit Alan Partridge, yeah.
Very Alan Partridge.
Did you dismantle the trouser press at any point?
No, I wasn't given one, but I did have an incident where I broke the hairdryer.
That's close enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
close. So yeah, I went. Didn't really think too much of like introducing myself to the staff,
That would be really Partridge.
but somehow they found out that I was the co-host of the very popular podcast Desert
Yeah.
Island Dips.
I suppose if you're sitting around on a hotel reception at like 2:30 in the morning and nothing's really happening, you might go through the list of guests and just Google them.
You think?
If you were weird and creepy, yeah.
Oh, the things they must know about me then. Okay, so I was out filming, had a really rough day, just everything was going wrong.
Yeah.
And I got back to my hotel room.
And suddenly everything started going right.
Everything started going right. I opened my door and I just smelled like food. And I was like, why is there food in my room? And it smelled like kind of like deep fried food. And I was like,
The best kind,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, did somebody like get room service to my room? Is somebody playing a prank on me? Because I'm just naturally like untrusting of everyone around me.
And quite prankable.
Yeah, very prankable. And so like I fumble for the lights, turn it on, and I just see this tray of deep fried bread, like deep fried brown bread. I don't know what it is.
Did you eat that a lot in Russia? Is that a common?
I think they call it garlic bread out there.
Okay, but it's not garlic bread, as we know.
I mean, it tastes garlicky,
Yeah.
but it's not like the weird.
It's not a baguette with garlic butter in it.
Yeah, it's not like the white baguette you're buying from Sanos. Like, it's a deep fried brown bready treat.
Dense, I'm
dense,
guessing.
very
Yeah,
dense,
yeah.
yeah. And so I'm like, what is this bread? And what is this mysterious red sauce next to it? And I find this like letter typed out on hotel stationery. It says, "Dear Miss Elias, the Novotel Moscow Kievskaya's hotel team found out about your podcast, Desert Island Dips, and decided to surprise you with one of the most popular sauces in Russia. It's called Ajika. Our chef prepared it especially for you with his own recipe, and we printed out some material about trivia on the sauce's history.
So basically,
We hope you enjoy the surprise and may it inspire you and a new podcast episode."
the research for this episode was done for you by the staff of the hotel. Is that what you're saying?
A little bit. A little bit. But it was so
Well, thanks to them.
It was so nice. I was like completely blown away. And like it was a sizable amount of food that I definitely like should have taken it out of my room and shared it with like my lovely coworkers who are all tired and whatever. But I super didn't because I'm a jerk. And I'm also, getting married in a couple months. So I figured, why not eat a pound of deep fried bread and sauce to myself in my sad hotel room? And that is 100% how I spent one evening of the World Cup.
Dedication to the Desert Island Dips cause, and I don't think there's a problem with that at all.
So that is how Ajika came into our
your
life.
But how did it come into the life of planet Earth?
Tom Wiggins, have you heard of a place called Georgia?
Yes, not the state of America,
Not Georgia, but Georgia.
Yeah, it's I think a former part of the USSR, but now its own independent state.
Yeah, so that's sort of like region of the world. Ajika is a sauce that you would find in a lot of Georgian restaurants, although it doesn't exactly come from that area. I'm not an expert in geopolitics, so I apologize. But there is another place called Abkhazia that is right next door. It is its own country. It's teeny tiny. And that is where Ajika comes from.
Okay. How close is this to Moscow? Not very.
Not very.
Okay.
Like closer to Sochi.
Right, okay. But it's in the letter it said it was sort of a popular Russian condiment, so it's gone beyond its borders.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It has completely, like, Georgian food is amazing, and therefore it is everywhere all over Russia, or at least Moscow where I was. And at every single restaurant you can find Ajika, and it's just kind of like served on the side with all your meats, all your breads, anything you fancy. There's your dumplings, Ajika. And it's delicious. It's a combination of red chili peppers, garlic, salt, and dried herbs. They're all kind of like finely ground together. And then I assume some like water or liquid is acted to make it a bit more pasty. But it's kind of like a fun dipping sauce.
I like those.
Yeah. So the legend has it that it was originally used by sheep farmers. Or I guess you would call them shepherds.
There's probably a very subtle difference that us plebs don't understand, and if there are sheep farmers or shepherds listening, they will be very pleased that you've made the distinction.
I would like to apologize to the shepherd/sheep farmers and the people who live around Georgia and surrounding areas for not being able.
Well, and we do know that we've got a listenership over there, so
Anyway. So in Abkhazia, these sheep farmers/shepherds wanted to give salt to their sheep because it helped increase the animals' appetite, and they'd eat more food, and they'd get fatter, and they'd gain weight, and then they would have fat, healthy sheep that they would slaughter and eat for all the meaty goodness.
Makes sense to me.
Totally. But salt's expensive. So you're in this sort of like weird conundrum. And apparently that is how Ajika was created. It was created as a salt substitute. They would feed it to the sheep, and then they would get fat and delicious. Of course, things evolved and realized, hey, why are we feeding this to sheep? This is delicious. Let's put it on the side of our wonderful cooking and cuisine. And that's how Ajika was made.
Well done to them.
Yeah.
Let's not waste it on sheep. Let's keep it for ourselves.
Yeah. Do you want to try some? Because I brought some back with me. I went to the grocery store, probably a mistake, by myself, and didn't know any Russian.
Yeah.
And so I just said to the man, Ajika. And he took me to this like aisle that had like top to bottom, like a giant like whole row of shelves, massive. And it was all
full of them.
Yeah, it was like all these different types of Ajika, and I was like, I don't know what I need.
Which one to get?
Like some of them kind of look like pasta sauce consistency, and some of them looked like thicker and chunkier. So I went for a small, thick, chunky guy. It's right in front of you. Would you like to try some?
Yeah, well, I've got to get to it and see what happens. I mean, so we've got an original tortilla type chip here.
That's what I decided to use as the control in this project.
Okay. How much shall I have? Oh, that's a bit much, isn't it?
You don't need a lot. It's like
Is it quite kick?
This one is because I think I got like the really dense one. I'm not exactly sure what I bought.
Is that a good amount?
Yeah.
To the listener, it's similar to one of the dips you might get with your poppadoms in a Indian restaurant in terms of appearance, smell, and we'll find out if flavour as well. It's nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's not quite like a chili sauce you get at like a kebab shop or anything like that. It's got more of like a deeper flavor to it, but it's delicious. And it's kind of like one of the...
It's nicely warm.
Yeah. It's not burning your mouth.
No.
But it's like you could eat a pile of it and be quite content.
Just put a pile of it on the floor and just sniffle around in it.
Yeah. And like there's limited English writing about Ajika, but...
Well, we're just adding to the canon, aren't we now?
Well, now we
it's
are.
Not writing, but you know what I mean.
But like the consensus is this sauce is awesome and it needs to be on more things. So...
Is that the job we're doing now?
Yeah, And so why isn't it? I have a theory.
I can't answer that. Okay, yeah.
No, this is like a legitimate theory that I tested out with one Ajika maker, and she kind of agreed with me. We'll go with she agreed with me. Let's be real. In the 1970s,
emails again.
Oh yeah, I've been sending so many emails. Like in the 1970s, English taste buds weren't even ready for garlic.
Yeah,
that was considered way too spicy. Where was Ajika then in the popularization of modern condiment history? It was behind the Iron Curtain.
It was stuck, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's not like the West, air quotes, would have really had like access to it.
No.
So now we're in this situation where there's delicious Georgian restaurants opening up in larger cities like London.
I don't know. Have we got...
We've got a couple here. They're really good, yeah.
I've never been to one.
So my theory is because of communism, Ajika has been held back from us. And now we have to create this movement of getting that sauce onto our plates, getting that condiment onto our shelves.
Well, and this is the first step.
This is the first step.
You're making the first step.
We are pioneers here, Tom.
We try our best.
Do you feel the pressure?
I think I do, yeah. To sort of put another nail into the coffin of communism by introducing Ajika to the wider London, well, the whole of the UK, if we can.
If we can. I mean, the Daily Meal, which is a website, they like put a hit out on sriracha saying like, move over sriracha, your time is done. Ajika is here.
It's not quite the same as that though, is it?
No.
They're not, I wouldn't say they're competing.
No, not in the same sort of like sauce or condiment bracket, but like definitely in the realm of like hot and spicy.
Because it looks a little bit like something like lime pickle. It's not smooth, is it? It's got a sort of grain to it in the way that sriracha doesn't.
But see, I'm not sure if that's the case for all Ajikas or if that's just the case for the one that I've purchased. Apparently, brands made in Russia and the Ukraine tend to be milder, whereas Bulgarian brands tend to pack a really like potent punch. And some advice from the Portland Mercury says, if you can buy Georgian Ajika, by all means, snag it. Rogue crisp dropping on laptop.
I was so shocked by the news that you should just buy Georgian Ajika whenever you see it. That I dropped a, what are these called?
It's a crisp.
Yeah,
a chip.
Particular kind.
A tortilla chip.
A tortilla, that's the one. I mean, you can tell I've gone back in, so clearly I'm on board.
But then I was like doing some reading about like Russian EU sanctions, as you do when you start stumbling into the world of imports and exports and food products.
And it's such a fascinating topic generally.
I honestly wonder what the world thinks of my Google search history because it is so weird. But 2014, Kremlin was like, hey, we're not going to import food from the EU anymore, blah, 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 blah. And like, you can't have all these like fantastical French cheeses and Spanish wines and all these sorts of things. So like within Russia, it became more important about like spreading locally what food they had or what like sauces they had. So I think that's kind of like the reason Ajika has gone so mainstream within Russia is because they're kind of looking in on themselves for their own sorts of like traditional foods and what is popular and spreading that.
I think that's a good thing because it's delicious. Yeah,
and if you look at it from like the perspective of some like really chefy chef people, like this guy named Andrei Samakov from the Hotel Metropol's Saba restaurant, which sounds very
posh.
It's one of those things that people tell me it's posh, but so I'm too afraid to ever eat there. But he says because of all of these policies, it's kind of forcing them to do that whole like eat local thing where it's like trying to source food within like 200 kilometers of Moscow or like trying to take advantage of traditional and delicious things. You cannot stop eating it, can you? Like, sorry. It's really,
I'm listening.
It's really good.
Yeah. Also, I haven't had any dinner.
Well, that's going to help the case for Ajika.
It really is.
But enough
I
about...
feel like this is quite a serious episode. Do you feel like that?
Yeah. Accidentally stumbled upon some serious...
We're doing sort of current affairs. It's newsworthy because you've brought it back. You actually went there and brought it back for us to do the podcast about. So you've actually done some... This is a primary source.
Yeah.
Good joke there, eh?
Boom. Nailed it.
And it's sort of I just think that we should get an award for this episode.
This is a new level of desert island tipping.
Yeah.
I made it a verb apparently.
Even though someone else did the research, but
I did some research. I couldn't decide if they were called sheep farmers or shepherds.
that might be a problem for the award givers.
Yeah, the award givers. Hey, let's talk about Ajika in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think the home of Ajika is in the UK?
Well, hang on, it's Georgian. Well, no, it's from near there. I can't remember the name of the... Acacia. I've never heard of that place. Acacia Road was where Banana Man lived. That's probably not relevant. Well, I would guess. I don't know. I don't know where the biggest Georgian community in London is, but you can quite often bet that it's somewhere in London. No? Glasgow.
Doncaster.
Oh, I would not have guessed Doncaster.
Yeah.
I would not have gone there.
Home of One Direction's Doncaster Rovers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's kind of a mix-up there. And
that's quite close to a fact, maybe?
A member of One Direction owns a portion of Doncaster Rovers, yeah.
I'm trying to mix the worlds of football and condiments.
Pop music and condiments. And it's sort of working.
Yeah, it's not.
Doncaster is a place for the listeners outside of the UK that is in the north of England. I'm going to have trouble actually pinpointing it accurately. Up towards...
What do you think you're more likely to be able to do? Point to a map where Doncaster is or point on a map where Georgia is?
Oh, good question, actually. I would back myself to get Doncaster ahead of Georgia.
Okay, I feel like we've gone on several digressions about Doncaster.
A Doncaster tangent, which is a good album title.
Band name?
Or, don't know. I feel like the Doncaster Tangent is the album.
Again, another Doncaster tangent.
A never-ending, looping. Carry on.
This podcast 20 minutes later. Let's get back to this. The authority in Ajika is a woman named Gunda Hewitt Kortava. She has a company called Ajika Abkhazian.
Yeah, what do they make?
They make Ajika.
And they do it in this country?
Yes.
Okay.
So her story is, she grew up with Ajika. It was always around the house. It's not a big deal for her. Whatevs.
Yeah.
So in 2010, she moves to her mother's native country, Abkhazia, and she marries a local guy. She starts a family, and she falls in love with Abkhazian cuisine. So she falls in love, naturally, with Ajika.
Which I think I'm close to doing at the moment as well.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really good. So she decides okay, time to go back to the UK. I can't live without this sauce. I'm going to try and take as much as I can of it back with me. And she says she managed to get 2 kilos in her already overweight luggage. And
That's loads.
and
if you think, listener, about maybe a jar of lime pickle, that's what we're sort of talking about here. So 2 kilos of that is a lot, isn't it?
And she says it didn't last very long. So she was like, okay, I gotta make this for myself. I gotta figure this out. So she asked her husband's parents for their generations old recipe. And she failed it a couple times, but managed to recreate one that was really authentic, really good. She's in love with her sauce. And so she starts selling it. She's got it into shops in Yorkshire and in Newcastle, obviously Doncaster. Let's not get to the Doncaster tangent again. She's selling it on Amazon. So if you would like to buy some in the UK, go to her.
That's where to get it.
That's where. And the editor of Fine Foods Digest chose her hot Ajika as one of their favorite products for 2017.
This is a heartwarming story.
Yeah. And so...
again, we can probably make a film out of.
And so...
I think it's the top one on
email
Amazon.
exchange, I was like, what is it like trying to make this sauce happen in the UK? Because clearly it's got, this massive popularity back home and within Russia, but in the UK, we're still pretty, new to it. We're not, it's not in all of our pantries.
Yeah.
And she says, it's difficult, but the reaction we've had so far keep us motivated and keep us going. And they're basically not going to stop until it is the next big staple in the cupboard. And I believe in her.
Good luck to them, and I can't see why that won't be the case. If they probably need a sort of wider distribution, but
it's gaining
that's what
momentum.
We're doing, right?
It's gaining momentum.
Full 5 stars out of 5 on Amazon. It's the top one on Amazon. £10.80 free delivery. You get 3 different thingies: hot, medium, and green.
I respect all of those choices. I would. Their hot one is apparently the most. No.
It says meat. It says chili pastes, meat rubs.
Yeah,
so you don't just have to condiment it.
You don't just have to condiment it. You can like rub it on your meats and then grill it. Use it as sort of like a barbecue sauce. You can put it in with like mix it up with hummus. Take the place of harissa.
Yeah.
You could put it with like creme fraiche or sour cream or anything else. She recommended putting it with mayonnaise.
Well, mayonnaise could do with all the help it can get.
Mayonnaise could do with all the help it needs. So long story short is she's made an awesome sauce, and I completely believe in her that she can actually like make this a staple into everybody's cupboards. As long as more people find out about it and try it and eat it.
But that's what we're here for.
That is why we're here.
To help. We're
here to evangelize people into the Ajika army.
I'm going to buy some.
Yeah, you should. And you haven't stopped eating it this entire time.
Yeah.
So, Tom Wiggins, on that note.
Oh, are you going to ask the big question?
Does Ajika go on the island?
Oh, man. I can't lose ketchup, brown sauce, or mustard. I would probably... I mean, this is where we're probably going to have an issue. I would lose barbecue sauce and I would put Ajika on.
I would happily do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Because
as I said before, I think sriracha is quite different in its use and its flavour is very different because that's more peppery and this is more chili-y. So
I am so intrigued to try Ajika on like a meat rub. And if you were trying to like replicate a barbecue sauce using like a brown sauce and Ajika combo in our weird like food condiment distillery, I'm going to go with it. Probably be pretty decent.
Do you reckon?
I don't know. I just think Ajika's amazing, and I just want everybody to try it. Like, we've had people coming over for like to watch the World Cup game, and it was like, "Hey, have you tried Ajika?" And I'm literally just like pulling condiments out of my cupboard to force feed it to them, which they loved. But like,
ambassador.
How often do you have that sort of like emotional reaction to a condiment where you're just like, everybody needs to try this. This is the greatest.
It doesn't happen very often. I think it has to be something that you feel a personal connection to in the way that you've sort of discovered it, which you obviously have. So that's where that will be coming from. So, and it's working.
It's delicious. Yeah. You haven't stopped eating it.
No.
So
I would get rid of barbecue sauce and I would quite happily have Ajika there instead. And also we don't have the situation where I sometimes think I can make things out of other things.
Yeah.
I could not make that.
No.
I wouldn't know where to start. So there is no choice but to have it in the cupboard.
Do you feel this is an unexpected victory?
It absolutely is, yeah.
When we were starting this episode today, I could see your face being like, there's no way there's going to be any real movement. And now, boom, new condiment.
No, I wasn't saying that. There's a chance that we are overexcited by its novelty and newness. But it's been in your life longer than it's been in mine, and you
by like a whole 5 weeks.
And you're obviously still very much on its
preaching the gospel of Ajika.
Yeah. So why not?
Well, on that note,
that's all we've got time for.
Well, kind of. You can get a hold of us.
Oh yeah, we've got a little bit of thing
on the social media,
haven't we?
We're at Desert Island Dip, single dip on Twitter, at Desert Island Dips, plural on Facebook. We've got an email address, desertislanddips@gmail.com. Nailed it. And somehow, somebody...
without giving away the details, you've
found
received
my personal
fan mail.
address and sent me a letter all the way from Indonesia. Attention, Desert Island Dips.
I mean... I don't want to spoil the illusion, but you have opened this already. This isn't the first time of reading it. Oh, it's handwritten.
It is handwritten. Wow. It is.
Are you going to read the whole thing out?
No, I won't, because you know what?
It's a bit sexy.
I didn't ask him if it was okay to read it out.
Good.
So I don't feel that.
Yeah, no, that's good. You should get permission first.
This was sent to us from Dave Olson, all the way from a wonderful small island in the middle of the ocean, where he was just sitting there contemplating what condiments he would want on his
Is he
desert
on the
island.
literal desert island?
He's on a desert island right now, and he sent us this.
He's gone a step further than us. He's actually gone to the island.
Yeah. On the back of it, he wrote his 5.
He's done his 5. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Would you like to?
Of course, yeah.
So, mango chutney.
Mm-hmm.
Must be sour mangoes and not oversweetened.
Okay.
Guacamole. Controversial.
Very controversial.
But does call avocados nature's mayonnaise.
Okay. Nature's physical mayonnaise.
Peanut sauce. Thai style.
Does he acknowledge that that's controversial?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Peanut sauce Thai style. Along with okonomiyaki sauce.
Oh, I don't know that one.
So it's apparently a Japanese delicacy. It's kind of, I guess, like a Japanese brown sauce hybrid barbecue sauce. Adding it to the list of condiments we're going to research.
Well, I'm literally doing it right now.
Mary Sharp's from Belize. It's a hot sauce. Rather than tomato based, it's carrot and chili based.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, sounds very nice. And then honorable mentions go.
I was going to say that's 5. Can't have any more.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
Well, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Sambal, Sri Lankan. Huh?
I don't know that either.
Oh, we're going to get to the Sambal episode. It tells you that. My Sri Lankan heritage is not going to be silenced. And then legit vinegar.
Is that a specific kind?
Legit vinegar, brackets, rice or balsamic.
Okay.
So, I mean, really, that's kind of like...
Dave, you've already started to push the envelope by adding honourable mentions. I'm not having 2 different kinds of vinegar on your vinegar choice. Come on. Write another letter and sort this out.
Please, Dave, write us another letter and sort out this confusion. But yeah, if you two would like to write a letter, you can...
You have to find out the address first.
Email me. I'll probably give you my home address because I don't got a lot going on.
You know, everyone likes to get letters, don't they? So
I mean, this...
It's delightful. It's a lovely envelope. It's a nice bit of paper. It's handwritten.
Cardstock.
Yeah, oh yeah, very nice. Yeah, don't throw that away.
To the moon and back.
So, well, that is all we've got time for. I thought we had no more time already, but we found a little bit extra, which is actually impossible to do. But we managed it. That's it. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy your commute
and order some Ajika.
That's the thing. The main takeaway from this episode is to try some Ajika wherever you possibly can. Probably that woman from Amazon.
Yeah.
Good.
Bye.